My earliest memories of growing up was every morning my mother setting us up with sums of long division. Well, basically, because she was a teacher, that's all I remember. So much work to do in the mornings before we went to school and then after school. My worst memories was when she would set my sister and I with long divisions, and I would sit behind those sums. And for 5 minutes, I just really couldn't understand what I was doing. And all I remember was the cane strokes. And my sister, in less than a minute, solving those sums, and I would sit behind it struggling. And the more I struggled to understand math, the more I found solace with paper and crayons and sketching. So I think in one of those moments when my mother picked up something that I had sketched, and it dawned on her that I was actually very different. And I think at that point in time, that's when she realized that the more she beat me, the more I just didn't understand, because my brain wasn't really set out to understand math in the traditional sense of way. So at that point in time, that's when she started buying a lot of paper, a lot of crayons, and encouraged me to sketch. And so I was lucky to have a mother who was a teacher who recognized that I was talented and I was very different from the other 3 siblings. I found university extremely boring. I really didn't enjoy school much. I found the curriculum very rigid, and it was just basically art for art's sake, so a lot of art history, which is good. But we're not allowed to explore outside what the curriculum demanded.
I remember one time during the, just when we were about to go for a long break, summer break, whilst people were thinking of, going out and having fun and all that, Constance was busily thinking of, how she can better herself. And I remember she joined a furniture company called Ekwaba, then carpentry shop, actually. And she came back with all the expertise and she was all fired up.
I found myself going back to this carpentry workshop every vacation, and I gained experience working alongside them for over 5 years. But the more I went back to university, I realized that I felt that the curriculum and school had really failed us from us way back then. Because I knew that when I finished university, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. But how dare you challenge your lecturers, and how dare you challenge the status quo?
Throughout the 4 years of studying with Constance, she's been very determined, and this is one individual who sets her goals and then works towards achieving it. And she doesn't just settle for achieving the goals, she actually excels, she pushes for excellence, and she'll do nothing less than excellent.
Working in industry taught me everything that I know. Working with artisans who are perceived a certain way, who couldn't even articulate themselves, but of course they had the practical experience and skills that we didn't have. What school gave us was exposure and creativity, but there were no skills attached to it. And so there was a lot of learnings working alongside my industry colleagues who pretty much held my hand and taught me everything that I needed to know in industry.
Working with Constance over the years has been an exciting and rewarding experience. At one time, she's a friend, a coach, and inspiration. But my favorite name for her is the Iron Lady, like Margaret Thatcher. It amazes me how she continues to operate in such a male-dominated industry and excel year after year. And it's interesting how she behaves when discussing ideas with her. She's very quiet, thoughtful, almost as if she doesn't get it. But you can be sure that when it comes to delivery, she's miles ahead in thoughts, and I believe we are yet to see the best of her. Constance would remain constant in the years to come. I can bet my last dollar on that.
So over the past 8 to 10 years, we've had close to 600 young people from all over Ghana coming in from our polytechnics, our universities, from the community that we operate from. And it's such a joy to see them coming in and not even knowing how to use machines, but after 8 weeks of working alongside our artisans, they're actually building and designing things. And so that's when I realized that there was such a need, and at the same time the opportunity to use my learnings from industry at a point where I also felt that if community had given something to me, this was also my turn to give back. So when I came up with the concept of what the Design and Technology Institute would look like, it took me back to when I was in KNUST myself. What I remember the most was my mates who were studying law or medicine would always laugh at us because for them, look at those artists again. That's all they do, draw under trees. And I looked at the environment within which the College of Art was situated. It was very, very poorly resourced. In fact, it was the oldest building on the block. And so universities themselves also looked down on graduates who were in the College of Art, and all the resources went to the other subject areas. And so I made that pledge to myself and to next generation that whatever opportunity that we didn't have, they would work in a space that would truly unearth their talents. Because I think that creativity fosters creativity. And so the campus was very dear to my heart, that it should be an amazing space, that the minute you walk in, you know, the energy around you should be so positive that, you know, you look forward to going to school every day. So when I look at Raphael, one of the young people that we work with, who comes from a community that every day as he leaves Jamestown and he comes to school here, he sees the dire situation all around him, but at the same time, he sees it as opportunities. And so you look at these young people coming in as blank canvases, and you actually can see that where they see problems, now they see the great opportunities that the continent possesses. And this is exactly what we're teaching them, that you have the power. The only thing that we're giving you is opportunities and all the skills that you would require to make that change from the communities within you, which you come from. And so it's a very powerful feeling when you see young people taking up that challenge and embracing what their future really would look like. And truly, they have the power to take it and own the futures that they're creating for themselves. And what we always say to them, that we sowed the seeds at DTI together with you. We would allow you to grow up to a point. I think the beauty of every parent and every founder is to watch those seeds grow, to become those giant oak trees that they themselves should water and see where their destinies and their futures would take them.